Since my first video was about why I knew this would suck, I should review it. I was right. Even though Dragon Ball is the most influential anime of all time, probably, the anime that likely had the most influence on Hollywood is Ghost in the Shell. And even if Hollywood hadn't have sucked Ghost in the Shell's bones dry creatively, this movie would still suck. The story, the pacing, the acting, all suck. But the movie is fucked from the start. We start with some cliché text about humanity and machines coming together, to a corpse, to an android being built, to the person waking up in the android body in shock, to a corporate ass saying that she's going to be a weapon, to fast forwarding a year and she's a badass assassin. And we don't even spend more than a few seconds on these characters. Scarlett Johansson is a fine actress, but if you didn't like her in Lucy, you're not going to like her here either. Although in her defense, she has nothing good to work with. And even though the anime is brought to life pretty well, visually, everything looks drab and lifeless. And there are lots of tiny plot holes. Euron Greyjoy's eyes get damaged and he goes blind, and then he gets them replaced with, goggle-looking eyes that he says will allow him to see as good as the Major, but her eyes look pretty damn human, so why do his upgrade eyes look like goggles? And there's this thing where Scarlett Johansson takes her clothes off, she looks like a mannequin, but when she's wearing something that covers her boobs, she looks more fleshy, except for this one scene where she's taking off a scuba suit and we see her from behind without ever seeing her ass, where she looks entirely fleshy. You assume this is so the movie can maintain a PG-13 rating. And I assume that Scarlett Johansson would be fine with going on nude because she wanted to go topless for the island. But, Michael Bay refused. Now you have another reason to hate Michael Bay. And I guess that we need to discuss whitewashing. Original anime is set in Japan, it was made in Japan, and the lead is undeniably Japanese. And instead they cast Scarlett Johansson. That just seems stupid to me from the start. I'm going to get into spoilers, but this is important. In this version, it turns out that the Major is actually Japanese. Her name was Kusanagi Motoko, and after she died they put her in a body that looks like Scarlett Johansson. And they don't do this with any sense of irony. And you could have done it ironically. Like, draw a parallel to corporate and patriarchal shit. I mean, the boss is a white corporate man. I mean, holy shit, this is writing itself. But the absolute worst thing about it is that it is boring. Boring as shit. You don't care about any of the characters. The action scenes are extremely standard. The environments are drab. What a shit show. Hollywood, don't hire Rupert Sanders anymore. His first movie wasn't even very good. Fuck me, this is so bad.